The UK position has been clear. Back in January, we joined a group of 14 other countries in the Media Freedom Coalition to talk about our concerns about the fact that her detention was unjustified and she should be released. That was something that the Council of Europe Human Rights Commissioner said already at that stage in January. And then again in April, a large group of countries, including the UK, 37 countries in the OSCE organisation, we noted our concerns at the decline in media freedom in Georgia and growing hostility to journalists here. And we called for the release of Mzia. And then just earlier this month, 20 or so foreign ministers from across Europe also pointed out the problems with arbitrary detention and the problems with politicized trials here in Georgia, including for journalists, and asked for the release of all political detainees. So I think our position has been very clear, and I think that's what everyone can do in Georgia's friends and partners like the UK. We want the best for democracy in Georgia, and so we talk about the things that we're concerned about, and I think that's the role of the international community in drawing attention to this case. And we hope that in the nearest future that our concerns will have been listened to. The UK has imposed sanctions under two sanctions regimes. First of all, under our human rights sanctions regime relating to use of force against protesters, and secondly, under our anti-corruption regime relating to corrupt appointments in the judiciary. So those sanctions are public knowledge, and all I can say at this stage is that we remain very concerned, as foreign ministers from across Europe have said. If the Georgian authorities continue to move away from democracy, we will use all the measures that we have in our relationship to downgrade our relationship. But I don't comment, it's UK government policy, we don't comment ahead of time on future sanctions designations, so I'm not going to get into detail on any future moves. What I would say is that there are still no instances of investigation of police for use of force during the protests, and that was one of the main issues that we identified. So we still call for accountability of those police and investigation of those police who were involved in that brutality. So I can be very clear. There is no deep state which controls Western governments. It doesn't exist. There is no global war party which is trying to drag Georgia into to open a second front. That is not what we are trying to do, and we are not trying to force foreign liberal values onto Georgia. We want Georgia to be a part of the Euro-Atlantic, which for the UK particularly means to integrate with NATO and to be an active partner in the OSCE and Council of Europe. Of course, Georgia has also an important relationship with the European Union. So I think it's very sad and unhelpful that these narratives and misinformation are used to suggest that the West has a negative agenda towards Georgia. We don't, and quite the opposite. We very much hope that the Georgian authorities will change path and return to integration with Euro-Atlantic. I of course, work closely with my European colleagues, and a few days ago, the European Action Service made a statement talking about the dangers of misinformation, and So I think that's also something that the UK would fully subscribe to. We know that misinformation is being used against Europe, that hybrid threats are coming from the direction of Russia against Europe, trying to undermine our democracy and trying to undermine the security of our continent. And we want to work with Georgia to make sure that we're all more resilient to those threats, including disinformation.